Hi, this is Jenifer. I will be creating a series of videos to expand on my website www.scorpion431.com. I created this to speak to individuals who have had their lives destroyed by a wrongful conviction that is other than murder. I have an idea that will help. I am requesting your participation. I need your help. You have to gather all of your documents, everything that you had to prove your innocence, and you have to tell your story about everything that went wrong. I will try to help here by using my case. If you go to my website, you can read the case there, but these videos will expand on that website. I will be utilizing the information, and you may recognize, you can identify with some of the things that happened to me, and maybe that might trigger something in your memory to say something that went really wrong. I find the rule of law in Canada, in Toronto, Canada, has been perverted. It's beyond perversion. It's like a black comedy, no pun intended here. Law enforcement created a false narrative in my case and fed it to the newspapers. What they did after that defies logic, and when I lay out the case for you, you may see some things that you can also identify with. Innocent people are being harassed, humiliated, degraded by law enforcement. They strive to create a culture of fear and isolation. They have become so good at the degradation and humiliation that the investigation, there's not a whole lot of investigation going on. We must come together and expose these injustices. I will create videos. I am going to create videos for all of the organizations that I contacted trying to get help with my case and their responses. I will give you videos with the likes of Upper Canada Law Society, Canada Revenue Agency, the Privacy Commission, the People's Prosecution Service of Canada, Ontario Ombudsman, Banking Ombudsman, Ontario Securities Commission, Governor General of Canada, Bank of Montreal CEO, who was then Tony Comper, the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, my MP, my parliamentary MP, John McKay, the Attorney General, who was then Yasser Naqvi, the Conservative Party, and the National Democratic Party, or the New Democratic Party, Black parliamentarians, and the Federation of Black Female Lawyers. The other organization that I wanted to contact was AIDWIC. They have now changed their name to Innocence Canada, but they only do murder cases. In 2017, they had a caseload of about 80, and they were begging for funding. They asked the Justice Minister, who denied them. Their cases take about 7 to 9 years, and I can't expect them to help me. They won't be coming to my aid anytime soon. James Locke here is the founding director of AIDWIC, and he talks about wrongful convictions. His success rate is phenomenal, and in 2019 he was awarded the Order of Canada. I listened to some of his sessions, and he lists various reasons he found through his experience for wrongful convictions in Canada. He said the police and trial judges rush to judgment. I thought about it, and I referred it back to my experience, and I didn't really see a rush to judgment. I saw lies, incompetence, illiteracy, discrimination, laziness, and bias. That resulted in the throwing of my case. Granted, my case was not murder, but fraud. These law enforcers will be referenced in subsequent videos. They're directly connected with my case. They are the fraud squad investigators, Heather Clark-Smith and Wade Alfonso. I also wrote to the then Commissioner of Police, William Blair. I will also speak about the judges that I experienced. They were Jennings, Matlow, Haberman, Krolick, Gelace, Crunk, Sharp, Simmons, Hamel, O'Connor, Hamilton, Ehrlich, Brown, Lipson, and Campbell. Locke goes on to say, he said, prosecutors rely on forensics where forensics is unreliable. I found more incompetence, no verification of facts. The forensics in the accounting area was pure fraud. Fraud is not scientific. It's just logic and intelligence. If you can read, you can understand and reason. In actual fact, these people were creating their own evidence and deleting what did not suit them. A survey in 2013 said that jobs for the forensic community are some of the hardest to get and even harder to keep. I thought maybe this is why they have gone this way. If you want to prosecute fraud, I think the forensic community will be a great place to start. The prosecutors themselves were involved just as deeply as the forensic professionals in committing fraud and prosecutorial misconduct. I got validation on February 22, 2018, when the Toronto Star published a story based on input from the lawyers themselves in the Attorney General's office, calling their environment a toxic cesspool. There were reports of racism, changing factual reports, advancing prosecutions without probable cause, extreme dysfunction. I had already experienced all of the above. This is not an erroneous reliance on shady forensics. This is an organized and orchestrated frame-up to win cases. This is criminal behavior. I will tell you about the prosecutors on my case. Suhail Akhtar, who is now a judge, John Galanitis, who took my case to trial, and Mike Guadango from the United States. The forensic accounting firm was Kroll, Lindquist, Avey. They were hired by the Bank of Montreal, their lawyer from the law firm of Teplitsky Colson. There were Roderick Allen, who was the forensic accountant, and they had investigators Thomas Cheel and Chess Summers, and Stephen James Berkeley Roger. Mr. Locke goes on to say, defense lawyers are sometimes incompetent and other times corrupt. I was dumbfounded at the extent of the corruption. This was conspiracy between plaintiff lawyers, trial judges, defense lawyers, to suppress and subvert justice. If you don't believe me, listen to the following videos. What I believe is happening here is that they know the corruption existing within the Attorney General's office, and the lawyers are cashing in by stealing from their clients and selling their information to a higher bidder. The judges are also doing favors for their friends. They're deliberately disregarding the criminal conduct and not acknowledging the evidence before them. They too have engaged in criminal conduct. I speak from experience. What reward did these lawyers get for destroying my evidence? Why would judges excuse lawyers who had destroyed evidence and then discount the evidence before them? I will also create videos for the lawyers involved in my case. They were G. Peter Abrams, Aston Hall, Elizabeth Nadeau, Stephen K. Stoffer, Lawrence Burns, Leanne Cupidio, James Dunder, Christopher Golson, Craig Bottomley, Khalid Bash, and Osborne Barnwell. The bank's lawyers were Ian Roja, Jonathan Baker, David Altshuler from the law firm of Teplitsky Colson. Mr. Locke here goes on to say, he said, the ministerial review is outdated. This is the area where we can make the most difference. I'm speaking to the innocently convicted. In the videos, I will also touch on witnesses from the Bank of Montreal and the investigation that hid the corruption within its walls. Lon Allen, Ross Ballinger, Mohammed Sharif, Ron Saw, Lawrence Thompson, Graham O'Neill, Tom Trumpower, Richard Button, Peter Clark, Hassan Khan, Tony Comper. The last video concerning my case will be to address the prosecutors and lawyers in the Attorney General's office and the 3 political parties of Canada. There are 5, but I will address the 3 major ones. If you've had a similar experience, if you want your life to revert to some sense of normalcy, please join me. Let's fight for what we believe in. You have the courage. I know you do. If you have faced this adversity, you know what it's like. I will continue to campaign for change. And even though this is the system that tried to destroy me, I recognize that it is us, the people with this experience, who must change it. We have to expose the cowards and hypocrites who strive for self-aggrandizement. Tell your stories. I am here to help. We will combine our ideas to get this done. The next video, number 2 in the series, will be on the police and what they did and what their investigation contained.